This is an After Effects composition of one of my projects. Now, I'll just kind of briefly go over a kind of working method that works for me. There's different ways of going about it, but essentially, it's kind of I'm working with this idea. Are you all familiar with After Effects? Yeah. So make a lot of use of nesting projects, and I might start with something in Premiere and do my alignment there. So I'll take something, and I'll go into position, and I'll make horizontal and vertical alignment. So I'll set the transparency there. So you'll see we're seeing half of the top image, which is the right image, and we can equally A/B things, and you can tell when something is going to work well in a stereographic image, when you're A/Bing something and you're seeing a foreground and background movement. So if you're flicking back and forth and if you're just seeing the image shift over and no picture planes, it's kind of a useless shot, because in some ways if you have a transition point or something, it's of service, but essentially what it's going to do is just put everything behind the screen, and it's useful, but so what I'd do is I'd make my cuts and do color corrections and so on, effects in After Effects, and in a sort of workflow of nesting these timelines together, I'd come up with something like this, where I use the plugin that I mentioned earlier on, 3D Glasses, which is really nice because you can just export straight to Blu-ray from After Effects, and you don't need that Neo 3D thing. It's just.
So what is our composition size that we have to select?
Well, actually, this is what you're seeing here is this is 2560 by 720. It's just sort of double
The width.
double width. Yeah. And a lot of AVI formats, codecs won't let you export at that aspect, but H.264 is very flexible, and the thing about this 3D Glasses thing which is the name of the plugin. Let me see. I'm just going to set it up and show you how that works. So say we have this clip here. Go into perspective. 3D Glasses. And see, we set our left and right views. It's 3 and 3 and 7. So there you have your left and right view. You have the option of looking at this in, with anaglyph as well, which is, I find it's a very useful tool, especially, I don't have, I edit with a projection system, so I can preview properly, but it's usually, the use of anaglyph is, as much as I abhor it as a form of 3D, it's very useful for previews, and actually as an option for as a field monitor, it's probably the best one at this point, the best approach to having an economical field monitor for previewing. So this, one can pretty much just see if you've made a mistake, if like you've mixed left and right somewhere along the line. It's in After Effects you can get quite complicated layering and kind of make it's easy to make a mistake. So it's a very useful tool. And then you have a kind of convergence set, which is for playing with the parallax, but equally, you'd want to do that in with the transform settings in the layer. Yeah, so that's that. I don't know what else to really tell you. I think you're probably all pretty literate about this, or can intuit the sort of methods. I could maybe.
On that, you were viewing the 3D in After Effects, but you were playing with the X-axis in Premiere.
No, it's just, they're two very sort of similar programs at this point. So you could, I would have cleaned up a file that I was going to master in After Effects. I would do that in Premiere. It's just simpler. After Effects tends to be the environment where you sort of put in layers and effects, and so one does have to do a lot of that sort of alignment there, or one has the opportunity to do all sorts of composing there.
So once you've got your two films, left and right, you would then put them timed together using the
Cineform?
Cineform. How would you do that in Premiere?
Did you? Okay, this describes like a sort of working method that sidesteps Neo 3D. So I would do that alignment in Premiere here, and then just kind of save the composition, go into After Effects and import After Effects or Premiere project, and then just sort of do the After Effects there.
In Premiere, just in the same window, checking it's the same frame.
No, you do that in two steps. That would be. You could. No, it's just it describes the kind of lack of communication really between the two environments. But one can at this point with CS5 go seamlessly between those two environments. I could show you the Neo 3D as well, but Neo 3D. Let me see. I just installed it. Have you used Neo 3D?
I've only seen the demo.
Yeah, in terms of workflow of using Neo 3D, one would bring in the sort of raw files and bring them into this HD link utility that converts it to the Cineform codec, bring the files that have been transformed into cineform files into the cineform first light thing, which is a sort of another. It's ostensibly it's just a muxing tool, but it lets one bring in the cineform clips into a bin here, assign left and right characters to clips, and then do color correction, alignment, X and Y alignment, sort of quite a flexible set of parameters to adjust to fix the alignment, and then one performs a 3D mux here, which binds the two left and right files into the QuickTime wrapper that one can edit. It's just the same as these nested projects that I was showing in After Effects of just.
In Cineform, what I noticed is that it does it for the whole clip. Whereas in Premiere or After Effects, you can select the marking markers. Only those points you can tweak it if you want to do X and Y axis.
Yeah, except in HD Link, which is where you transform your native files into cineform files, you would select scene detect, and then it would just chop the scenes into by scene detection, and it's very useful because then you could perform deinterlacing at that stage. One could once they're scene detected and isolated from the other clips, you could perform camera stabilization and so on. So it's quite a nice workflow, Neo 3D, but it's just you can think your way, over that, and if you're using Nuke, all of these sort of workarounds are just built into the
Finally,
program.
we are printing the output from Final Cut Pro or Premiere. Which software we use to get the
To get to the output?
final output? Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter at that point. Yeah, I mean.
My confusion is that when you, if you have a project in Premiere and when you export into After Effects, will it automatically turn to 2160 by 720?
Oh, it shouldn't do that.
It shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So you'll have two different compositions, and one will be kept as left, and the other one will be right.
Yeah.
So then, how will you put it together?
No, actually, if you imported an After Effects composition, a Premiere composition, like say this was, actually no, that wasn't. Yeah, actually, this was, and it just, the clips as they're cut up in Premiere just appear cut up on an After Effects timeline, and it.
If it doesn't take much time, could you just show how you do that with two compositions? Insert one clip, and how do you make it?
Mm-hmm.
So could you repeat what you asked just now? What you said just now, can you say it again?
It doesn't take much time. How do we do it in After Effects?
Yeah, so to show an example from the beginning.
Yeah, it's small.
Is it possible with some of the footage that we...
No, big
that
footage, just two images also will do, so that
Mhm.
we can understand.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Is it possible to do it with some of the footage that we shot here, or do you not have it locally?
I could maybe see. But you're talking about taking a Premiere project or
No,
just.
After Effects, you have
okay.
two compositions together, and how do you put it together?
Okay.
And then how will we get the final output?
Okay. Well, perhaps I'll show something using that 3D plugin, the 3D glasses thing.